having you guys. You mean a lot to me. But in all candor, don't take this personally, okay? You're only scratching the surface. You got to look much, much deeper to see what this is really all about. You see, the banking functions in the hands of the wrong people. Now, some of you are familiar with the little video that lasts about 50 minutes, Banking with Life. I introduced it to you, maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever. Anyway, Dr. Paul Cleveland is in there, and he's one of my very best friends. He's an Austrian economist at Birmingham Southern in Birmingham. And Paul tells us that wealth is goods and services. Wealth is goods and services. Money is not wealth. Money is our medium of exchange whereby we acquire those things that meet the definition of wealth. So the concept of banking is a necessity out there. When you go to buy something, money has got to flow from you to that other party in a relatively short period of time. You know those narrow-minded folks won't do business with you? They have no sense of humor at all. So it's got to come from an adequate source. So that source is the bank, whatever you call it. Now, by the way, banks do not own that word, all right? Any accumulation of something is a bank. Any store is a bank of merchandise. I'm an airplane driver. You can't make a turn with an airplane without it banking. Okay, I'll quit right there. I could go on all day elaborating that point. Now, since I told you I'm an aviator, I do keep up with things in the aviation world. Are you all familiar with the Asiana airliner, that Boeing 777 that crashed just short of the runway in San Francisco about 18 months ago? So, sheared off their landing gear and whatnot, and the seawall did it and so forth. Well, are you aware that they finally revealed who the pilot and the co-pilot was? No. The pilot's name was Sung Ting Wong. And the co-pilot's name was Wee Tu Lo. Well, in the banking world, or in our financial world that we deal with today, do you have the feeling something wrong? What is it? What happened? What caused this, huh? It has to do with some basic thinking out there that people have totally overlooked. They've been sucked in to being subject to the world's largest con game, and they don't know it. Now, how many of you think that this thing started 102 years ago with the creation of the Federal Reserve? Well, you're only 125 years out of phase. It really started in 1789 with the creation of our Constitution. Now, I want you to study this kind of thing big time, and so here's a suggestion for you. Rhonda, would you help them, love? I want you to go to LouRockwell.com on your computer at home. Just watch what she's doing here. Lou Rockwell is one of our very best friends. He's the guy who runs the Mises Institute, established it 30 years ago down in Auburn, Alabama. Now, that is the best think tank in the world. It has worldwide influence. It is the home of the Austrian school of thought in the world today. Now, when you go to the home page there, click on authors. You see where she did that? Now, Graham drops this huge number of names. There's over 200 authors there. And I want you to find Mike Rozeff, R-O-Z-E-F-F. Now, this is a fabulous brain here. I've never met him yet, but hopefully I'll be able to before I graduate from this earth. But now, when you find Mike Roselle, click on his articles, and the first page is not the one I'm looking for. I want you to go to the second page, and you will find don't go back to the Constitution. Don't go back to the original Constitution, I believe it is. Yeah, go back, with a question mark. Now you click that thing on. And when you do, you will find about 8 pages there. I just wanted to show you how to get to it. Now, I'm going to ask you to memorize that page. Memorize it. Get this down cold. You've got to learn the difference between the state and government. Most folks don't have any idea that there's a huge difference between the two. But the difference between is wide as the Grand Canyon. So learning where these ideas come from. These ideas come from the state. It's an abstraction in people's minds. It is pure. It can do no wrong in the eyes of people. Government is the means of carrying it out. Okay? So, another thing that you're going to run into, only a month from now, we're going to be talking about the 4th of July, right? And I will guarantee you that your media will be telling you that we're celebrating the birthday of the United States of America. And that is a bald-faced lie. That was the anniversary of 13 independent colonies seceding from the mother country on account of something called mercantilism. Now that's a fancy word that has to do with collusion between government and big business. Now, and the big business thing here, there's a high level of chicanery going on, and that is the banking business. I'm talking about puppet masters out there, folks. You got to learn about those puppet masters and what they have done to your life. As a result of it, we got the darndest confusion out there in the financial world of all time, and people have become total prisoners of thought. They become slaves, and there's no necessity for it all. But you can secede from this condition by simply getting together with like-minded people to solve the problem. Do you understand that only banks can inflate the money supply? Only banks can do that. Nobody else can. Now, this medium of exchange we've got to warehouse it somewhere, don't we? Well, why not warehouse it with a place that cannot inflate the money supply? That's life insurance. It's a contractual relationship. This is a social means of solving economic problems. This is in contrast with political means. But everywhere you go out there, people seem to be concentrating on getting political means to change their lives. And that is absurd. All you got to do is abandon that sort of stuff. And the medium is dividend paying whole life insurance, preferably with a mutual company. Now, as a result of this, like I say, I know thousands of people out there that will never see a bank again in their life. Now, this lady on my right over here, stand up, Mary. We've been together 64 years. Now, we haven't seen a bank in 23 years. Now, that is a very peaceful, stress-free way of life. Now, I do seminars all over the United States and Canada, and I work strictly through sponsors. I have never set any of these seminars up. Okay, about 5 years ago, Los Angeles, high rent district, Thousand Oaks area. Oh, by the way, y'all remember I'm a forester? All right. There's about 1,000 there. I counted them. They lie. Where you go out there, they lie. All right, and the sponsor was Arkady Milgram, Russian Jew. Came in 1989, $100 in his pocket. That's all he could bring. He's done extremely well. Never discovered the life insurance business until about 8 or 9 years ago. He had 25 Russians there, 20 of us USA types. Halfway through the seminar, I'm telling people what a peaceful, stress-free way of life it is when you get the banks out of your life. And a bolt of lightning hit some people's head about that time. God is good. I said to myself, man, what an opportunity. You've got to take advantage of this. There's a lady right there. She's from Russia. She's a doctor. She's a neurologist. I'm going to pick her brain right in front of everybody. I have no earthly idea what she's going to say. I don't know her. She doesn't know me. I'm going to take a chance. Doctor, what part does stress play in medical maladies? Her response? It all starts there. You get that? It all starts there. So I asked the group, in your life, in the life of the peers that you have, what do you see is the biggest stress factor? A chorus came back. Money. Money. Well, what caused all this? Jim gave you some hints a while ago about how things were not too many years ago. You see, during my father's generation, five-year mortgage was the best you could get. When Mary and I got married in 1952, the first car we bought was a 4-year-old Buick. It required 1/3 down. 18 months as long as you could go. Well, what have we got today, please?
7 years. Very good. 18 years.
Alan, I saw a commercial the other day for one of these zero-turn John Deere lawnmowers. 7 years, and you didn't have to pay a thing the first year. Suck you right in. A Tempur-Pedic mattress, for instance, 7 years on a mattress? Good Lord. But that's the condition that's been caused by the banking community. You don't have to have money anymore. We'll take care of everything. You just come to us. And Tim also mentioned there a while ago about borrowing money to go to a vacation. That's common out there in the world that we've got today. People are slaves. But they don't have to be this way. They got to learn to secede. But the biggest problem out there is all the doggone government programs that come along. Tax-qualified plans. Now, every one of those tax-qualified plans are a function of the IRS tax code. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever read the IRS tax code? You have? Why? Why? You can answer, it's okay. Well, look, I do know this. I'm an Austrian economist. I got hooked on the Austrian School of Thought back in 1957. So I've been at this 59 years of becoming an Austrian economist. I know something about what these guys do and why they do it and so forth. When it comes to the IRS tax code, the first 9 pages describe income. That's the definition of income as it relates to the code. The next 1,100 pages are exceptions to the code. So all you got to do, Jim, is just read about 3 of them there, and I can tell you exactly what the rest of them say. In essence, they're saying, we own everything. and we're going to grant you these exceptions. The idea there is to control your life. Well, you just want to stand there and take it all the rest of your life? That's got to be the craziest thing, in my opinion, that anybody has ever done. It's a tax-qualified plan. Feature. I tell people in my seminars that this is an exercise in imagination, reason, logic, and prophecy. So, reason will tell you that something's wrong here big time. When government creates a problem, for instance, onerous taxation, and then turns around and grants you an exception to the problem they created, aren't you just a little bit suspicious you're being manipulated? Well, all you have to do is just abandon that sort of stuff. But you see, they want you to make you think that your blessings in life come from them instead of God, because they are God. All you have to do is go. Mary and I haven't been involved in tax-qualified plans, anything like that. And every one of you, I'm sure, you've all read my book, haven't you, Shirley? Yeah. All right, you know that I was heavily in debt back there in the late 70s as a result of thinking the way the rest of the world thinks. I remember I'm a forester. Remember I know something about timberlands, etc. And I got involved in real estate, doing it the way everybody else does. OPM, other people's money. All right, interest rates was 7.5% or 8% in those days. Got to pay 1.5 over because I'm not prime and I don't think you are either. So there. So 9.5% interest, I made some money. But then along come 1980 and 81, and I was stupid enough to get into the real estate development business. All right, interest rates went to 21.5 and stayed that way for 18 months. Well, they had 1.5 to it, that's 23% interest. Well, I got hung over $500 million under those conditions, and shortly thereafter, one of my big partners, I felt comfortable having partners in the real estate ventures, and I felt very comfortable having this guy who was a big name lawyer in Birmingham, a principal in the firm. That guy brought bankruptcy on us. We had to eat his portion. My share was $300,000. Now, y'all got that third word moving the dick down? 500 plus 3, y'all got that? All right, that's a lot of money. Well, what I saw there, because of my Austrian background and my own knowledge of life insurance, that I could get the money during those horrible times at 5, 6, and 8% interest from 3 different life insurance companies. But I didn't have anywhere near enough cash values in there to get rid of those so-and-sos. By the way, I ran a genealogy check on those bankers. There's canine ancestry in their lineage. That's probably funny. Anyway, they're not nice people. I've never been so verbally abused in my life as by those guys. But I saw that if I raised my premiums big time, that there's only one pool of money out there anyway. The fact that various and sundry banks, insurance companies, corporations, and individuals was managing a portion of that pool, was incidental, then I could have cash values I could borrow and pay those guys off. Now I control the debt. Now it took me 13 years to get rid of them. That's why you gotta learn to think long range. That's what's the advantage of being a forester. I think long range. I encourage you to think at least 3 generations. Well, we're working on the 4th. Yeah, we've got 3 children, 10 grands, and 6 greats right now. And at one time, Mary and I owned 49 life insurance policies. We're at the stage of life of getting rid of things. You can't take this stuff with you. And so we're down to 24 now. This is a great way of transferring wealth from one generation to the next generation, or transferring the medium exchange, really. All right, then I concentrated on paying off the policy loans. Now, once you get the banks out of your life and direct that energy that you were paying them to paying off your own loans and policies, you'll be staggered at how quickly you get rid of the debt. There are no policy loans out there. There are no policy loans out there. Okay? Everything is paid for. I'm teaching Mary how to be a widow. I'm the last of the Mohicans in my family. I'm 22 months longer. I've lived 22 months longer than anybody has ever lived in my family. Graduation time is not all that far away, okay? And when we die, we die. We don't fiddle around. We just go. So, you know, I might not make it to November this year, who knows? But I'm teaching her how to be a widow and offer the life insurance that she owns on me, interest only. She never touched any of the principles at all. So that's the power of what this concept can do. But you gotta quit thinking the way the world thinks and get away from government programs and so forth, because they cannot work. It's not that they won't work, they cannot work. Because that's man trying to play God in the pagan sense of the word. And the book of Exodus tells you very plainly that God is a jealous God. He ain't gonna put up that stuff. And so they all fall apart. But they fall apart over a long enough period of time, people just don't see it happening to them. So, my parting thoughts with you is keep learning, keep listening, keep studying. Don't ever quit. When have all of you been to my website, infinitebanking.org? Okay. Have you ever looked at the resources tab? All right. Well, look at the reading list. There's 365 books on there right now. Now, if you read all those, you got one PhD in Austrian economics, you got one PhD in history. There's not a way in the world you can study economics without studying history. And the Austrians are the only ones that's got it right. The Keynesian fools is what's created all the problems that we've got out there today, that you can spend yourself rich. Now, Barron's report is another thing that comes out each month. You can't find any better current information, the things you need to know about and wrestle with than there. So, one of my frustrations is that I've been doing seminars all the United States and Canada, and I never could get a sponsor in Birmingham, where we live, to sponsor a seminar. And so it finally happened about 5 years ago, maybe 6. They all run together after a while. Anyway, this changed their life totally. And so in their logo, at the bottom of it, it says changing thinking, changing lives. And so I asked Charlie Nowlin, the owner of the agency, how long have you had changing thinking, changing lives in your logo? He said, since we met you. So that's the joy that I've had for the last 20 years here teaching this to people. And I appreciate very much your friendship and the things that you've expressed to me and what you've learned. But keep on learning, because there's so much good out there that you can change the lives of so many people. But it's got to be fully grounded on stuff that is not superficial. It's got to be depth. And there is depth on that website there that doesn't exist anywhere else. Thank you for your attention.